Hello, YouTube. Hello, viewers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jacquelyn from the blog, thedogperspective.com. And today is just really a quick story time. I wanted to just take a moment and share with you my experience recently, just maybe like 2 or 3 days ago, when I took Sophia onto the park. Many of you know you have a dog at home, and perhaps they won't eliminate without being extremely picky. They just hold it and hold it and hold it, and that is to their detriment. However, if you do take them off to the dog park, they have a lot of space, a lot of other dogs to interact with, and so they will let go to have an easier bowel movement. So for that reason, I took her off to the park. She was just opposed to the lawn near the house, and she was just opposed to going on the golf course. So off we went. Well, I get there, and the park is particularly quiet on the day that we visit. There's one woman in the large dog park with a beautiful giant poodle, and they're playing, and they've been there for a while, and I can see that they're just about to wrap it up. I go into the small dog park, and here comes this SUV. I'm familiar with it. I've seen it dozens of times. It's got two big dogs in the back of the SUV, and the driver's familiar. He pulls up, screeches on the brakes. Hey, how you doing? I wanted to let you know there's a puppy back there. I say, there's no puppy. I don't see any puppies. I'm the only person in the small dog park. There's no puppy. He's like, not here, way back there. So in the far recesses of the park, if you go way, way back there, there is a portion of the park which is named what it's called Diamonds, and then there's another one which is just dog parks, and then there's another one if you go way, way in the back, which is called a shelter house. And this area of the park is normally used for reservations. So if you're going to have a party, if you need to have a formal meeting of some sort, this area can be reserved. And it's a building with lights, electricity, facilities, uh, that type of thing. And there's dumpsters back there, and there's trucks and equipment, things like that they can use to maintain the lawn of the park and so on, catch and capture animals. And so I said, well, honestly, I don't see anything. He says, no, I saw the puppy. My dogs. We were back there by the river, and it was there. My dog saw it, and I tried to get it to come along with me in my truck, and it wouldn't come to me. And so now it's just cowering back there, and I can't get it. And so the other lady with her dog, it's just a really big, really beautiful dog. And she's like, she said, you were just talking about that the other day that we were here at the park, saying how you hated the fact that people bring dogs to this dog park and just dump them and leave them here without any care or any type of regard for the life of the animal, just figuring animal control or some citizen will pick them up. So we began chatting about it and speaking about it. Well, I'm at times way more emotional than I am logical, and so for that reason I set off on foot to walk the distance between the small dog park and the shelter house. And he says, wait, you want to go back there? I'll follow. I'll follow you. And so, I take off walking with determination. So Sophie and I, who by the way is right here. You see this? This is not Chair. This is actually Sophia. But I walked to the shelter house, and I get there, and hiding in between these two dumpsters, one really big dumpster here and one really big dumpster here, hiding in between these two dumpsters is this beautiful bully breed puppy, pit bull puppy. Really beautiful. The dog couldn't be more than, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 months old at the most. Really well taken care of. It was very young, but very, you could see, well taken care of up to this point. That dog was probably already 40 pounds, 40, 45 pounds, and was afraid, and it wasn't going anywhere. I reached out to it to try to calm it down a little bit, but by it being in between the dumpsters, you could tell she was already upset. She was sweaty everywhere, shaking and shivering, and sitting near the dumpsters. She was exposed to everything. Bees were flying around her. Flies were crawling on her. Gnats were crawling on her. Mosquitoes were buzzing around her. So I didn't feel that I had a choice, but to also expose myself to all of the same things in order to quickly assess her state and then try to help her. One thing I will say is you can never be too prepared for this, because and I'll try to keep the story time from getting too long, from going too long. But the thing is that all it takes is one person, to be a good person. Even if they just have an idea and you act on it a little bit, it can become a really great effort. So, though I carry lots of things in my SUV, and I keep Sylvia's cargo stocked with certain things, just taking off on foot because you hear something, it's back there. That means that if I walk away from the SUV, I don't have access to all these things. Well, before you know it, hey, do you have a leash? He's got like 2 dogs, so he comes an extra leash that he has in his truck. And then somebody brought me a water bottle, and then someone brought me a doggy dish, and then someone said, hey, maybe I got some food. We just adopted a little dog. I got some food in the back of my car, things like that, to try to get it to take so that we could walk with it. Well, she wasn't having it, of course. She was just stuck under the near the dumpster and under the ledge of the dumpster for safety and security, and she was not going to walk, so we had to absolutely carry her. And then someone had a towel in their car, and then they ended up wrapping her in the towel. And I had an iPhone, and so we're calling and trying to see where we can take it. And we're discussing this animal. We're all rallying around the animal, trying to save it and discussing it. And so one person says, well, it probably belongs to one of these houses around here. We could ride around and see like who might be looking for it or whichever. And I said, no way, this dog needs care. It's and if we do it right, we can alert the proper authority, and we could take it to a no-kill shelter, because they will give it everything it needs. They will give it water. They will give it food. They will bathe it. They will, defree it. They will give it inoculations, and they will interact with it and shelter and house it, not kill it. And then they will work very hard to get it adopted by a qualified family. And so this whole ordeal, which is what it turned into, it got really emotional. And I, now looking back, I should have turned the camera on, but you don't think about that in the heat of the moment. I believe if you're an interested bystander, you can turn the camera on in the heat of the moment and just film if that is your desire. But if you're actually involved in it, if you're actually involved in the rescue effort, then you're not going to, grab a camera per se, right? So I feel ultimately very proud of everyone that was involved. There were no less than, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, no less than 5 adults involved in this. And there was a lot of talking, a lot of conversation about who would drive, who would take it, where it was going to go, what the best strategy was, and so on. But today, one thing Sophie and I do is pray for a safe home for that little doggy. I mean, she was so sweet, big brown eyes, just really, she seemed like the most tender little dog. And so hopefully today she is very safe and well on her way to a good home. So having said that, in every video I try to remind you of the importance of good care and being prepared for an emergency. That's a good example of being prepared for an emergency. If I myself had decided to keep a dog, or someone else that was there decided to keep a dog, you could easily sign them up right away for Pedisure. I talk about Pedisure a lot. I believe in it. Pedisure works very simply. All you do is enroll your pet in a Pedisure plan. You can go on your computer to Pedisure.com and you can enroll right then and there on the spot. If you have time and you have a benefit with your employer, you can look through and see if you can enroll in Pedisure through your employer. That's good because you can have it payroll deducted. And from there, just print your card out, print your card out, take your ID card to a local network veterinarian, and then you're going to receive an instant discount, 25% on all in-house medical services. And that's pretty much it. What you get included in your discount is dental cleanings. I have a video on that. If you want to go back, or I'll post a link to it. Dental exams and x-rays, spays and neuters, which that dog would obviously need, routine care and vaccines, which the dog would obviously need. I mean, it had no collar, no tag, no identification. None of us had a scanner with us to know whether or not the animal had an implant already. But not that it was obvious. You'll get diabetes management, cancer care, hospitalization, wellness visits, surgical procedures, allergy treatments, sick visits, emergency care, which obviously that was an emergency. If need be, you get tumor removal, ultrasound, parasite screenings, which obviously the animal would need. And, very little is actually excluded. If you think about it, I would say exclusions. Here, I will take it right from the site. Pedisure says that you cannot combine the discount with other discounts and service packages, and there is no discount on non-medical services such as routine grooming and boarding, outsourced services such as blood work sent to a lab or an outside specialist, mileage fees and products taken home such as medications and food. So you can't combine it with another discount. That's very important. So you're getting a discount, you can't double discount it. And if they send your blood work out to another lab, then you do not receive a discount on that. So make sure it's going to be all in-house services. It's very simple. Once you go to the website and you put your information and put your zip code in, just let them know, hey, I'm looking for a veterinarian. They have a network of veterinarians. They're already in the system waiting for you with your discount card. Just come on in. It's that simple. There's no waiting period and there's no exclusions, no excuses. You can take excellent care of your animal. Sophia's plan isn't even $12 a month. So that is pretty much it. So I just wanted to share that with you. It was unexpected, of course, a little bit exciting, and you have to, in order to really help, we really do need to be able to, step outside of yourself a little bit. Remain calm as you are involved, but most of all, get involved, stay involved, be willing to help. Being caring is one thing, but a willingness to help makes the difference. So all of us that rallied around that animal, I'm really proud of us as a team. One other thing that I'm really proud about is being known as that someone that would step forward and take action, because they could have just driven away. But knowing that I'm a blogger, knowing that I'm active in the community, knowing that I'm a blogger, knowing that I'm someone that cares. As a matter of fact, what I'm happy about is that this particular pet parent even talked to me. I remember our early meetings, just first getting to know one another. I would fuss. I would show up to the dog park and I would fuss at this pet parent for being in the small dog park. He has 2 dogs, right? Each dog is no less than 65 to 75 pounds. They're big, huge dogs, big body dogs. And I would fuss and say, what are you doing over here? And I was so mad because I would say, you as a large dog pet parent, you have very different habits. They make big, ugly, stinky poops, and you do not pick it up because it is big, ugly, and stinky. But you like it over here in the little bitty dog park because we're always cleaning up after them, right? So when the maintenance team gets there, they mow down whatever is there. They fertilize the lawn grows nice and pretty. We're hardly walking on it. The dogs are lightweight. They just trot across it, and we pick up after our dogs. So it's a very different environment. They like the cleanliness of that environment. Also, it's a little smaller, so it's a little bit, it's small. It is smaller, so it's a little more intimate for his pet. So they have room to run, but they're not so far away that he feels uncomfortable, like if he has to chase after him or whatever. But the problem is that no one with a little dog can come in, right? And then there's other pet parents with large animals and the large dog side, which it's 25 pounds and up over there, right? They're over there. So he's forcing these crosses and this aggressive behavior, and it's not nice. And so we would get into it every time. I would not relent. I would just be as mean to him as his dogs would be to Sophia, without offense. And so, I'm just glad that he say, like, hey, Jacquelyn, this is the case. So anyway, I'm Jacquelyn from the blog, thedoggyperspective.com. Typically I do review pet food, but today we do not have a pet food review. No, from our table, just story time. What happened in the dog park? Sudden doggy rescue and pedicure. So again, pet parents, please try to be prepared. If there is an emergency and you are present, do what you can. Step forward, lend a hand. It makes a difference. The dog is going to make a wonderful pet for someone. And we're out.